And good morning again, folks. It's crafting time. How are you today? And we are going on week 5 for the summer reading program. And if you haven't signed up, by all means, it's still not too late. What we're doing today is we're going to be making a paper quilt, if you will. We're going to make patterns on it. And we're going to give you a piece of paper. We've got construction paper, glue of your choice. It can be stick glue, dot glue, white glue, whatever you choose, it will be great. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to cut paper, and there's several different kind of papers by all means. And you see how it kind of fits on the white paper. We need about a quarter of this fella here. And we're going to cut them down, so no worries, folks. And we want them nice and perfectly square. So we're going to go in half. We want to square them up like that. And we want to start cutting up from here. Or if you want to use that edge, probably be easier so we get exactly the right square that we need. And this can be used as your template if you want to use another blue, because we're going to make 4 different squares like this. And we can cut it accordingly. It's however big or however small you would like to do. We're making patterns, kind of like if you've ever done a quilt or seen a quilt. It's kind of similar to that, okay? I quilt all the time, so I'm used to this. And we're going to make 4 different types of patterns. The first one is the easiest one. We got our fold mark right there. I'm going to fold it again. And we're going to have like those 4 little areas. We're going to start cutting them along our folds. So there's one square, and we're going to do this to a couple different colors. We're going to do a couple different patterns, and got to find another color for you to easily see other than black or white. You like color, right? Ooh, I see a perfect color here, and it is going to be green. Now, it's supposed to be contrasting colors. It can be whatever color complements each other. Now, blue is a pretty easy going color, so he can get along with almost any color. But I am looking for a very particular color. I am going to use yellow. You see how yellow and blue, they complement each other. That's what we call complement. Now we're going to take the square we haven't cut, and we're going to cut another square, same size. In fact, we're going to probably do 2 of these. I am anyway. I'm using one of the squares as my template to tell me how big it should be. Now, just like what we did with the blue pieces, we're going to do with the yellow. We're going to fold them in half one way. And then we're going to fold them in half again. So we get a good even amount. And now we're going to cut them into squares. Will you have leftovers? By all means, yes, you will. But that is okay. All right, so we're going to do our first color, okay? Our first square. Excuse me. Now remember, this is supposed to be half a square. So if we go like this on our square, we're going to set them up before we glue them. And we can go like this. And we'll have a very simple square. And now we're going to glue them. Now I'm just using stick glue because I'm very limited in my spacing. We're just going to glue it down just like how we have it laid out. These are complementing colors. And if they overlap, that's okay. We want to make them nice, tight, and neat as we can, okay? One nice little point. I'll show you another design in a minute. There are lots of designs for quilts. So there's a lot to choose from. Now, do you have to do it just like this? No. No, you don't. There are many different designs to choose from. All are cool. Okay, I'm going to grab a green because you see how green. This is a great complementing color. Love green and yellow. It is a great complement to each other. Okay, so we're going to cut a green square. And we're going to do a similar design just like this, only we are going to use green and yellow. And I don't need to cut a yellow because I still have these two pieces left. And I'll show you what I'm going to do. Ah, it's fighting me. I apologize. And we're going to fold them before we cut them, just like what we did with the yellow for the green. And you see that? Now, the one thing, if you don't notice when you're trying to figure out, well, does this color complement each other? Well, there's a way to figure it out. You see how yellow and blue and green kind of complement each other? There's a commonality. See, these are two primary colors, and they go into green now, don't they? That is the reason why they complement each other. Okay, so now we're going to do a little bit different. We're going to go even smaller. Okay? So we're going to have even smaller triangles to work with. Now we'll probably just need 2 of these. And we got extra if we need more, by all means. If you make a mistake, that's why we give you plenty to work with. And we've got to do the same with the yellow. You see how it goes right down that middle. Yep. Don't forget to fold. I get a little cut happy. So we want to make sure we're cut in the right spots, right? Just like that. All right, now we're ready to make the next pattern in our wheel here. Now, this is a little bit difficult. I may not be able to talk so much along with it. You're probably thinking, great, she'll be quiet. Yeah, well, sometimes. We can do all sorts of different designs. If you want to do it like this. Oop, he's flying. You can do it like this. Pretty cool, huh? I would need another yellow if I did it that way. There's all sorts of different designs. I'm trying to think, how am I supposed to do this here? Gonna make a sailboat. You could do whatever. What design shall we do? Let's do it this way here. The fun part is to try to make it all your own. I'm trying to use up the ones that I've cut rather than make more cuts. And like I said, you can do it any way you'd like it. Or we could do it like this. Why don't I just make it easy on myself, huh? Let's do it like this. And like I said, you can make it however you want for design. This is yours after all. They escape a lot. Yeah. What do you think? I like that one. It's kind of similar to the one up top. We'll do it this way after I played around with it, right? But that's the fun part. You can make all sorts of designs until you're happy with how it looks. Now we're going to glue them in place. I'm just kind of dotting it, glue on it. Just going to glue it nicely. I'm doing the top half first. Whoa. It's okay. They're all glued, so it'll come back together eventually. That's my point. He needs to go in. Who needs cutting when you just rip it, right? That was by accident, folks. I promise. All right. Now, we don't want them to see the white now. Not in our design anyway, right? Whoop, whoop, whoop. Come here. All right. Last one for this part. It's a little more glue. There we go. You're making your first quilt. Woo! Okay. Now the next thing we're going to do is we are going to make a few new different designs, kind of like a border design over here. And again, we're going to try to go for complementing colors. Let's go with, I think I'm going to go lighter blue and brown. You see how they come together like that? Okay. So we only have a much to work with. So I'm going to cut a strip like that. And this is kind of like a stacked Lincoln log type design. We're just going to cut them in strips like that. I'm going to do the same with the brown. Are they going to be perfect? No. Do we want them perfect? No. The little small imperfections can tell whose it is. So that's kind of nice, isn't it? Kind of like, that looks like such and such would do it. And that is not a bad problem to have. All right. And we're going to cut these in strips just like the blue. There's all sorts of different, you can do it in circles. This is just how I'm doing it. It does not mean this is how you have to do it. The main thing is just trying to use complementing colors, colors that go well together. Work with them, you know? Find out what ones you like, what look good to you together. My tricks sometimes help. Doesn't always mean it will work, and that is okay. And we're going to start gluing them. And we're going to alternate. Like this is going to be a brown. Next one's going to be a blue. Well, that's what I'm going to do. If you want 2 brown, 1 blue, 2 brown, 1 blue, you can do that. Or the other way around. I'm okay. Whichever one you want to do. And if you want to put it under, you could probably do it under 2. You know. It can be however you want to do it. But this is pretty much all we're going to do on the way down. Now, are these the only patterns you can do? No. There's all sorts of patterns to do in this great patterny world we have. Yep, got to go to the blue now, right? I'm going to get to the end of this area. I'll show you another kind of a cool design we could do. I'm going very bold today, aren't I? I'm not putting my normal precautions in place for the furniture. Highly recommend, even with glue, to find a paper, newspaper or whatever you want to put down on it to protect the table. I use trash bags or other things like that. Now what we're going to do is we're going to try to cut them in about thirds. Is this perfect? No. It's just about. Nothing is ever perfect, and that is okay with me. I'm going to make them into smaller little blocks. If you have extra squares, by all means, don't be afraid. That will happen. We're just going to dot. Oops. Why don't we use this guy in the middle? That blue guy's a tad on the big side. And then we're going to alternate. Do another brown. And put him in the middle instead. Then put the 2 blues. We're all over the place. It's okay. Sometimes that's how it helps me think. We're going to put him here. Then we'll start from the top this time. Put the brown fella in. And the blue fella in. It's kind of like a weaving pattern. Oops, grabbed the wrong color. That's okay. We know where he goes anyway. That's the main thing. There. Now we can finish that line. I got a little ahead of myself, didn't I? That's okay. You see how it looks like a weave of a basket? All right. Now we're going to do it a little bit different, okay? We are going to glue them and go lengthwise again. You can always cut off any pieces you have that are hanging over, and that's okay. This guy's hanging over a little bit. I don't like him hanging over on my paper. All right. If they're too long, which I think they're all going to be a little long, so we could always just wait until the very end to trim them to how we like them. We're just going to go in and out, in and out. Oops, we need brown now. All sorts of ways to do it. Last piece, right? And then our quilt is done. Now you have made your first paper quilt. This is my first paper quilt too, so yay, good job. We all did this together. All right, so that is our week 5 project for summer reading program. And if you haven't signed up, by all means, come on down. We'll sign you up and we will get you the projects. And even by all means, if you don't want to sign up, you don't have to. But if you still want to do the project you have seen in this video or other videos, by all means, we'll definitely get you the supplies to do so. All right, until next time, thank you.